If you thought sweet tea and Southern hospitality were the only things cooking down south, think again. Some of these cities are serving up crime rates hotter than a Georgia summer. From gang activity to sky-high murder rates in cities where the cops can barely keep up. We're counting down the top 10 most dangerous cities in the South. And trust me, number 1, you won't believe people still live there. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. If you're into data-driven breakdowns of cities, crime rates, or you just like watching from a safe distance while we dive into the messiest parts of America, you're in the right place. Today, we're taking a hard look at the most dangerous cities in the southern United States, based on violent crime rates, property crime, police reports, and a little common sense. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an episode of Reality Served Raw. Now buckle up, because this ride is going straight through the South's darkest corners. The South, a region known for comfort food, manners, and rich history. But peel back the charm, and in certain pockets, you'll find something way less inviting. Rising crime rates, economic decline, drug epidemics, and underfunded law enforcement. While many southern towns are peaceful and family-friendly, some cities are battling crime waves that make national headlines, and not for good reasons. We analyzed FBI crime data, local news reports, and community feedback to bring you this list. So no, this isn't just hearsay. These are cities where violent crime is far above the national average, and where walking alone at night could get you a lot more than mosquito bites. Let's dive in. Top 10 most dangerous cities in the South. 10. Macon, Georgia. Nestled in central Georgia, Macon might surprise outsiders with its deep musical roots and charming antebellum architecture. But beneath that southern charm lies a sobering reality. With a violent crime rate exceeding 400 incidents per 100,000 people, residents live with the constant anxiety of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Much of the violence is tied to gang rivalries, drug trafficking, and economic disparity. Several neighborhoods are marked by high unemployment and underfunded community resources, creating a perfect storm for criminal behavior. Macon has beauty, sure, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's safe. 9. Shreveport, Louisiana. Once a thriving oil town and cultural gem, Shreveport has been on a slow and painful decline. Crime has become one of its defining features. With sky-high property crimes and an increasingly violent reputation, Shreveport has earned a place on this list for all the wrong reasons. Gun violence, aggravated assaults, and carjackings are common, and it's not unusual to hear about shootouts in broad daylight. The police force, stretched thin and battling low morale, has struggled to contain the wave. Local businesses close early, and many residents are wary of venturing out after dark. It's not just dangerous, it's deteriorating fast. 8. Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, the capital of Arkansas, sounds like a peaceful rural city to some, but dig into the numbers and you'll see a different story. With one of the highest violent crime rates in the country, Little Rock frequently outpaces much larger cities in terms of danger. Shootings, domestic violence, and robberies are regular features on the evening news. A booming methamphetamine problem and long-standing gang tensions in East and South Little Rock have plagued the city for decades. Despite revitalization efforts downtown, residents still speak of entire neighborhoods as no-go zones. 7. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson has become a tragic example of how infrastructure failure and political dysfunction can spiral into outright chaos. Once known as the city with soul, Jackson now has one of the highest murder rates per capita in America. Years of corruption, economic decline, and racial inequality have created a powder keg. Police presence is minimal in some areas, and the city's decaying water system and failing roads only add to the sense of abandonment. Crime, especially gun violence and carjackings, is rampant, and trust in law enforcement is at an all-time low. Jackson is in crisis, and its citizens know it. 6. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham is Alabama's biggest city, and while it's seen impressive growth in its downtown and tech sectors, large portions of the city remain crime-ridden and underdeveloped. The violent crime rate here is more than 3 times the national average, with certain neighborhoods experiencing daily shootings and burglaries. Years of redlining and inequality have created sharp divisions between the safe and unsafe parts of town. And for many residents living in North and West Birmingham, violence isn't just a risk, it's a reality. Gang activity, drug trafficking, and economic disparity are fueling a dangerous cycle. 5. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis may be the birthplace of rock and roll, But today, it's more infamous for its skyrocketing murder and assault rates. With a population of over 600,000, the city recorded hundreds of homicides in just 1 year, a number higher than entire states. Organized gang violence, especially in South Memphis, has turned entire neighborhoods into war zones. Even with a large police presence, response times are long, and many crimes go unsolved. Combine this with rising homelessness, decaying infrastructure, and economic instability, and you've got one of the most dangerous major cities in the South. 4. Baton Rouge. Louisiana. Baton Rouge may be the capital of Louisiana, but it's also the heart of one of the state's most violent metro areas. The city sees shockingly frequent shootings, and gang-related crime is rising fast. Police departments are constantly overwhelmed, and residents say even well-lit neighborhood can become unsafe once the sun goes down. Carjackings, burglaries, and fatal disputes are disturbingly common, and with limited economic mobility and a long history of racial segregation, parts of Baton Rouge have become pressure cookers for criminal activity. This city is dangerous, no matter how you spin it. 3. New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans might be a tourist magnet with its jazz cuisine and Mardi Gras, but locals know a darker reality. Beneath the beads and beignets, New Orleans suffers from a sky-high violent crime rate, driven largely by carjackings, shootings, and armed robberies. In fact, some visitors have been robbed just blocks from the French Quarter. Certain parts of the city, especially New Orleans East and Central City, are practically off-limits without local knowledge. Combine this with a slow legal system and overwhelmed police force, and you've got a city where the music never stops. But neither does the violence. 2. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is booming, but so is the crime. What used to be a regional capital for progress is now facing a surge in violent crime, with some neighborhoods reporting daily gunfire. Recent years have seen a spike in street racing incidents, gang retaliation killings, and home invasions, even in once safe suburban zones. The metro area is sprawling, and crime has seeped into the outskirts, leaving nowhere truly safe. The flashy skyline and tech jobs mask a city that's deeply divided, and for many, that division is marked by fear and gunfire. 1. Monroe, Louisiana. You probably didn't expect a small city like Monroe to top the list, but it does, and by a mile. With a population under 50,000, Monroe has one of the highest per capita violent crime rates in the country. Think about that. In a town where you might know your neighbor's dog's name, you're more likely to get mugged or shot than in some of America's most infamous big cities. The reasons: chronic poverty, gang violence, failing schools, and lack of opportunity. Residents are either desperate to leave or too broke to move. Monroe is a quiet southern disaster, and it's getting worse. So there you have it. The South isn't just sweet tea and porch swings. These cities are dealing with deep-rooted issues, from poverty to policing failures, drug problems, and generational crime. If you're thinking of moving to the South, or just planning a road trip, you might want to steer clear of a few of these spots. Or at least, don't forget your bulletproof vest. What do you think? Did we miss a city that should be on this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss future videos where we break down the best and worst places to live in the US. Until next time, stay smart, stay safe, and avoid alleyways in Monroe.